friend sent you this video because they realized that they send you a lot of TikToks. So all they have to say to you is, you think you have a way out of this? I'm going to keep sending you TikToks. And you're going to watch every single one of them. And you're going to enjoy it. And you think you can just simply walk away? You think you can block them? No. You don't have an escape. We will find you!
I just don't understand why teachers have to act like such bloody Karens whenever we want to go to the bathroom. Like, it's just a regular day at school. You're working hard. Well, yeah, kinda, yeah. And then you have the sudden urge to pee. You ask the teacher, and then they're like, no, you're not wasting my lesson time on you going to the toilet. You should have gone at lunch. Yeah, hun. No. You see, let me teach you how the human body works. I didn't mean to go at lunch. My food has to digest first. Yeah, I don't digest it straight away. Also, sometimes you get that slightest bit lucky, and then they're like, okay, just wait for Vanessa to get out. We don't want you two girls talking. No. Hun, let me get this thing straight. I don't like Vanessa. I don't think anyone likes Vanessa. So, we're not gonna exactly have a full-on conversation in the toilets. Like, what do you think it is, a mother's meeting? Make it make sense!
My mother's first language is Spanish, so sometimes when I talk to her in English, she'll forget a word or two, but not a problem. She'll just create new words no one else was brave enough to use. She took my little cousins to the mall once, and this is what she told me when she got back. She was like, it was so cute. I took the kids on one of those, El Horse Tornado or whatever. You know what it is. I'm sorry. El Horse Tornado? I'm gonna need you to elaborate. And she was like, you know what I'm talking about. You put that attitude down, you put it down. I was like, okay, putting it down. Sorry. She said, don't try me. I'll kick your ass. And I was like, you don't need to kick my ass. Just put me in a horse tornado. I'll be terrified. You think you're funny? Mom, how would you act if someone said that to you in Spanish? Tornado de caballos. That sounds horrifying. She was like, okay, that's pretty funny. Merry-go-round, by the way.
Okay, here's the challenge. You get to live in the biggest apartment in the world. It has a pool, multiple TVs, a movie room, everything you could imagine. But you can't live there without your first 3 ats. Like when you press the @ sign, the first 3 people show up, you have to live with them. Would you still live there? Tag these 3 people and see what they would want to do. This could get interesting. Okay, here's the challenge. You get to live in the biggest apartment in the world. It has a pool, multiple TVs, a movie room, everything you could imagine. But you can't live there without your first 3 ats. Like when you press the @ sign, the first 3 people show up, you have to live with them. Would you still live there? Tag these 3 people and see what they would want to do. This could get interesting.
The closest object to you is the only thing you have to defend yourself during the zombie apocalypse. Duet me with your object, and let's see how screwed we are.
Send this to whoever you wish. Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you. But the roses are wilting, the violets are dead, and the sugar bowl's empty, and so is your head.
Send this to someone you want to kick in the face. Twinkle, twinkle, you're so dumb. You look like a big fat bum. I should push you off a plane. Laugh at you while you're in pain. While you're falling in the sky, I'll watch as you fall and die.
Please, I hate my brother.
Bro, you're not even supposed to come in yet.
Stop being such a Karen.
I can't be a Karen. What kind of Karen likes anime?
How are unicorns fake but a giraffe is real? Like, what's more believable? A horse with a horn or a leopard moose camel with a 40-foot neck?
Send this to your best friend. Roses are red, violets are blue. How can I be as amazing as you? I'd love to spend some time together, you and me, always forever.
My brother had always been my best friend. We were together all the time. I didn't have many friends at school, but I never felt lonely because of my brother, who was always by my side. We were not rich and didn't have much, but our family was still happy. We were happy all 4 of us were together and loved each other very much. The best part of my days was the nights when my parents would return from work and we all sat on the couch and watched funny movies while eating candy. All of us laughed to tears, but my brother's laugh was the loudest. He was the most cheerful person I had ever seen. Just being with him would make your tension and worries disappear. I loved him and I could always see in his eyes that he loved me too. I could say that my brother was famous. They met my brother. Maybe that's why everyone loved and respected him. But he never cared for fame. He was like an innocent child who only wants to make everyone happy around him. Our parents worked very hard to make sure my brother and I had everything we needed. They worked almost 12 hours a day and came home exhausted, but they always had time for us. I never felt abandoned. On the contrary, I felt loved. I was sure even the richest families were not as happy as we were. Even though our parents always had massive eye bags and looked sleep deprived, they never were strict and tried to hide their exhaustion when they were with us. "I just want to remember the old days," said my brother, and smiled at me. He was smiling, but he looked concerned, as if he wanted to hide his sadness with a smile. "Okay, let's do it after I'm finished with my assignment," I told him, and he agreed. After a few hours, we were already standing in front of the maze. The memories of our childhood days came to me, and I got excited. I wanted to remember old days too. "I'll run and you catch me," said my brother, and ran into the maze. In a second I couldn't see him anymore, but I didn't think much of it. I knew my brother was much faster than me, but I was not giving up and shouting, "I'm gonna catch you, you're gonna lose." I was laughing from excitement. But after a few minutes I couldn't hear his footsteps anymore, and I got worried. "Hey, I'm tired, let's stop," I shouted, but he didn't answer. I kept on shouting and running to find him, but he was nowhere. At first I thought he was trying to scare me, but an hour passed I could still not find him. It was getting dark and cold. I got out of the maze and ran into the house, thinking my brother got tired and stopped playing without telling me, but the house was empty. He was nowhere. I started shivering from fear. Where did he go? Did something happen to him? I started pacing up and down, calling him on the phone, but he wasn't answering. I called my parents and they got home immediately. They asked what had happened, but I couldn't say anything other than that we were just playing a harmful game in the maze. My parents started searching for him in it too, then in the yard and house, but it felt like my brother vanished without a trace. We had been searching for him till midnight. We couldn't even let ourselves think about something bad. At midnight, when we decided to call the police, I got a message from my brother. "I'm okay, don't worry." That's when I realized his bag and jacket were gone. We calmed down thinking nothing had happened to him, and he just decided to leave. But where was he? Why did he leave without a word? Was he even coming back? I sent him a message asking these questions, but he didn't answer. Even though we knew he was safe, we couldn't stop worrying. After 2 days, my brother showed up. He was wearing his jacket and holding his bag. He looked absolutely fine. He looked the same as before. Mom and Dad rushed to him and hugged him, asking what had happened. My mom was crying from happiness and worry at the same time. My brother came to me, hugged me, and apologized for lying to me. He looked at my mom, who couldn't stop crying, and suddenly my brother started crying too. I was shocked. I had never seen him cry before. "What happened, honey? You can tell us," said Mom and caressed his head. My brother was silent for a few minutes and then said that he and his classmate were planning to rob the house of the classmate's rich uncle. He said that the uncle is very rich and they've been planning for a month. They were going to steal the money from the safe and drive to New York to stay there for a while, or if things worked out, even live there. But when they were standing in front of the house, they couldn't do it. They spent observing the house for 2 days, but in the end, they couldn't do anything and left. My brother was crying, and it was clear he regretted his behavior. We were shocked by hearing this, but then understood him. He was just a teenager influenced by his classmates. The most important thing was he didn't do it. My brother was a good kid, and the goodness overweighed the lust for adventure. We didn't yell at him. He already felt really bad. Our parents scolded him and made him promise not to do something like this ever again. As time passes and we grow up, he realized what he had done and how wrong it was. He has been keeping his promise for years.
Hey everyone, my name is Emmy. I have a 6-year-old brother named Malachi, who recently got himself in an awkward situation. See, our mom, Heidi, just recently got herself a smartphone and has been exploring all the wonderful corners of the internet that she's been missing. One day recently, she came across a popular kids' YouTube channel, Ryan's World, about a kid named Ryan who reviews toys. This gave my mom the amazing idea of creating a YouTube channel of our own featuring Malachi. While Malachi started off pretty enthusiastic about the idea, considering the fact that he'd been showered with new toys, his excitement quickly faded due to the demands of the job. 6-year-olds aren't meant to read scripts and shoot countless videos. They're meant to go to school, play outside, and take naps. Mom suggested that we keep making videos though, insisting that it would pay off. Malachi's video started out pretty small, with pretty much 0 subscribers and 0 views, other than our immediate family. Once our parents found out about the channel though, it grew just enough to have a small fan base and to make us a little money. Once the first YouTube check came in the mail, Mom was all in with the YouTube business, running to multiple stores in the hopes of picking up the hottest new toy for Malachi to review on his channel. Despite the channel revolving around Malachi and his opinions on the toys, it quickly became a stressful series of photo shoots, training to read sponsored messages, and doing takes over and over to convey certain emotions just right. Malachi was very obviously growing increasingly frustrated with this routine, as playtime started to feel more and more like a chore. One night after Mom finished shooting one of the videos and uploading it to YouTube, I came into her room to confront her about our situation. Don't you think Malachi is a little young to be going to school and coming home to a full-time job? But why does he have to do it in front of a camera? Talking to an imaginary audience, though. Why does he have to read messages for brand deals when he doesn't even fully grasp what an advertisement is? Is this for him or is this for you? The sharp stare became even more intense, moments before my mom let out a sigh. I wasn't sure if the sigh was out of personal realization or preparation to start yelling, so I stood up there quietly, waiting for a response. Finally, my mom speaks up. "I'm sorry, honey. You're right. It's too much for him. I guess I was just really excited to be a part of something that was actually taking off. I'll let Malachi know he doesn't have to do any more videos if he doesn't want to." I was shocked, but relieved. Well, this doesn't mean it's the end of the line for the channel. Maybe you and I could start a new series together and keep it alive. So that's exactly what we did. And now Malachi happily plays with his new toys, stress-free, and Mom and I get to continue staying on top of the YouTube game. I'm glad I confronted my mom with something I felt was wrong, because in the end, she was understanding and expressed her reasoning behind our choices. Sometimes we just have to remember that our parents are people too, just like us. That was my story. I hope you guys enjoy. If you think it's good, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Stay safe and goodbye. Safe and goodbye.